Episode 9 is said to have many different surprises in the film that will reflect on the original trilogy as well as the prequels in this movie by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, by far, one of the big characters that I am really looking forward to seeing in this film has all to do with the character of Kylo Ren, also known as Ben Solo, in the sequel trilogy era. Now, what's really intriguing about, of course, J.J. Abrams is that he is actually treating Kylo Ren to be a more intimidating character in this film and a whole lot more evil than Darth Vader ever was in the original trilogy. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art, and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with the character of Kylo Ren and a new name/identity that he will be using in Episode 9 within the First Order. Specifically, it's described that a description of Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren on a large stage where Kylo is described to have his mask off, with his Knights of Ren behind him. It's described that Kylo is making a speech about the Resistance and the legend of Luke Skywalker. It's said that in front of Kylo stands an army of stormtroopers without their helmets on, something that fans have never seen in a Star Wars film in history. The next goes over all the stormtroopers after Kylo Ren makes his speech, where it's said that they all yell out "Heir of Vader" 3 times before all of the troopers put their helmets back on, before they begin moving on to their dropships. Additionally, it's said that Kylo adopts 2 names in the film, where the legend of Kylo Ren, where he is known as the Jedi Killer across the galaxy. However, within the First Order internally, Kylo made a name of himself and is referred to as Heir of Vader for the speech sequence. It's said to be a nod of what Snoke called Kylo in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. So I want to go over a couple of parts about all of this and why this may very well be a nod to, of course, some of, the elements that were used in the past Star Wars movies and Legends and EU material. Now, what's really interesting about Star Wars as a whole is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be treating Kylo Ren in a totally different way in this movie. And what's really great about this is that Kylo Ren is actually going to be referred to as 2 different names in, of course, Star Wars Episode 9. Now, across the galaxy, this legend has actually spread across the galaxy where he is now known as the Jedi Killer. You guys may recall this about a month ago. And now, within the First Order, okay, what's really intriguing is that within the First Order, he actually makes a name of himself somehow, some way, where he is referred to as the Heir of Vader. Again, yet another little nod to what Snoke actually called, of course, Kylo Ren in that movie. And honestly, guys, I gotta admit, this would make the perfect title for Star Wars Episode 9, in my opinion. So looking at everything here, we do know that, if we look at Star Wars as a whole, we do know that J.J. Abrams wants to really, stay inspired by a lot of Legends and EU material. And without a doubt, I believe that this may very well be also a nod to Timothy Zahn's novel, Star Wars: Heir to the Empire. I don't know if you guys ever read that, but it's a great novel. Go ahead and read it. Amazing book. And I believe that Kylo Ren being referred to as the Heir of Vader is quite possibly, a little nod to Timothy Zahn's novel there that was released, years ago. So what I like about everything, related to Kylo Ren is that not only is he connected to Darth Vader, but he's also got this mysterious past, and a lot of people are starting to wonder exactly what happened in between the events of the sequels and the originals. Sure, we got glimpses of that in The Last Jedi, but still to this very day, we really know little to nothing about Ben Solo before his turn to the dark side of the Force, and even after his turn to the dark side, which is why I am really hoping about the rumored Ben Solo novel dropping in 2020 is actually going to be a thing after Episode 9's release. So moving past all of this, Kylo Ren using this new identity of himself where people see him as the Heir of Vader, and that's exactly how they actually call him at a certain point in time in the movie. Another thing that I do want to point out is something that seems very off, yet very original and unique in a Star Wars film that may or may not work for an actual Star Wars movie. I would like to get your opinion on this, is the sequence in which Kylo Ren and his Knights of Ren are on a large stage in a very similar fashion to Hux, Captain Phasma, and others on Starkiller Base. In this scenario, it's Kylo Ren within the First Order headquarters, watching an entire army of stormtroopers listening to his speech without their helmets on, where they eventually yell "Heir to Vader" 3 times over and over. So, what's really intriguing about all of this is that we've never seen something like this on film before, where we have an army of stormtroopers without their helmets on. However, they eventually do put the helmets back on before moving on to their dropships, before moving out and invading a certain planet/world. Exactly where he comes from and who he really is connected to, and that's exactly why they trust Kylo Ren. And it seems like that this could very well be Kylo's way of doing things his way over Snoke's philosophy and Snoke's ideology in order to really get the First Order to follow him and to cooperate with him. Now, we also heard, one of the other aspects of Episode 9 is, learning about the truth. Somebody knows the truth of exactly who killed Supreme Leader Snoke, and I believe that's going to be General Hux. I'm going to believe that he finds out somehow, some way in this movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.